school today, and they converged here as well. So this is the scene right now, Sumi, and I think a lot of people bracing for this potentially to get a bit more charged.
Okay, Carl, we'll let you go to continue reporting on those protests there. Carl and Anthony, thank you both so much for joining us on the program. And for more on the story, we can speak now to Democrat Congressman Brad Sherman from the state of California. Congressman, it's great to have you back on our program. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're seeing now that the Pentagon has confirmed it is activating 700 Marines in the Los Angeles area to help the federal response to these protests. What do you make of that, and what does activating mean?
Well, I love Los Angeles. Unfortunately, Donald Trump doesn't. He is using this. He's deliberately inflamed the situation in order to distract from the enormous corruption that we've seen just in the last few weeks, which is the greatest corruption we've seen since the privatization of the Soviet Union. And then he's desperate to distract from the biggest bromance blowout that we've seen in his personal disruption with Elon Musk. And so he has inflamed the situation. For the most part, both the National Guard troops and any Marines that eventually arrive in Los Angeles will be in supporting roles. Yeah. So far, he has found 44 people that he believes should be deported. This is not an attempt to seriously change the demography of Los Angeles. Okay. This is an attempt to distract from this enormous corruption.
Nonetheless, you know, Congressman, so much attention right now on these scenes from parts of Los Angeles, we should say. And we heard the mayor say earlier, Karen Bass, that there were these pockets of violence overnight. Our correspondent just said that he feels like the situation is, again, getting quite charged and tense. Are you concerned by what you're seeing?
I'm concerned by the president trying to inflame the situation. So far, the vast majority of Los Angeles is peaceful. It appears that the demonstrators are peaceful now. Anything like this that gets worldwide attention is going to attract a few hooligans, a few people who can't control their emotions, an occasional Leninist or two that want to exploit the situation. But my district, representing 750,000 people, is entirely quiet and is almost entirely within the city limits of Los Angeles.
We've seen the California Attorney General say he's filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration, the president, for federalizing the National Guard. Do you think that is the right move?
It's certainly the right move. Whether it'll be successful in court, we'll have to see. I haven't read the documents. But what the president's doing now is terrible policy. And it's not really what he ran on. Yes, he said a lot of batshit crazy things in 2024, but he said batshit crazy things in 2016. And then when he became president in 2017, he didn't do anything like this. People wanted the border closed. In fact, Biden had pretty much closed the border even before Trump took office. They did not want people who have lived in our society for decades to be subject to this, and they certainly didn't want their cities disrupted.
What about this rhetoric, this escalation of rhetoric between the governor of California and President Trump? We saw the border czar talking about the possibility of arresting the governor. President Trump was asked about this and asked what crime he would have committed, and he said the crime of being elected as a grossly incompetent governor. What do you make of this?
We're a democracy. I don't like to see any of our most prominent national officials arrested and put behind bars. But if we're going to arrest any prominent politician in the United States, it should be the one that's been convicted of 34 felonies. And of course, that's President Trump.
What is your message to protesters? Of course, some of them are, residents of Los Angeles, and as we know, of course, U.S. citizens as well. Some are migrants from the immigrant communities who are not citizens, who are concerned. What is your message to them as they take to the streets again?
Don't let Donald Trump use you to try to inflame the entire country, or to try to, if he would go this far, to cancel the elections in 2026. Bring American flags, follow the law, and realize that Trump is deliberately trying to inflame you to justify and get political support for actions that would really rip the heart out of our country.
Congressman, it's great to have you back on our program today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.